So there are fragrances from a house that are really, really hyped, and there's others that kind of sit in the background, and there's some people that talk about it, but most of the time people focus on what's really hyped from a brand. So several months ago, I was given a sample by someone of a fragrance from the house of Initio Parfums called Absolute Aphrodisiac. This is the fragrance right here. When I smelled it, I thought, gosh, this is a really yummy vanilla fragrance. I need to let everyone in my audience know how great this is, because they know me for loving vanilla, but I've never spoken about this one. Where have I been? How come I've never really, dug into this particular fragrance and then spoken about it? Well, today I am doing a full review of Absolute Aphrodisiac from the house of Initio Parfums, launched in 2015. So if you want to find out about Absolute Aphrodisiac, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yes, Absolute Aphrodisiac is really a delicious fragrance wearing experience. One where, and I was hooked. Literally hooked. Yes, it reminds me of a few other fragrances, and yes, I also did feature this recently in a video of underhyped fragrances, because I think this is underhyped. I don't really hear anybody talk about it. Are you a fan of Absolute Aphrodisiac? Have you sampled it? It is kind of a hidden gem, and I'm so glad I discovered it because it's quite fantastic. Really, really delicious. And come fall, which we might be in fall by the time this video airs, this is going to be perfect on those really, really cool, but lightly, warm days when you're at home sitting in front of a TV, cozy. It's a very, very cozy experience. So I'm going to let you know all about this, but before I do, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So I do want to say this bottle was sent to me by Max Aroma, which I have a link to in the info box. So this is a sponsored video, but I specifically requested this fragrance to be sent to me. As I said, I sampled it from a sample, really loved wearing it, and I had to review it. I really wanted to let everyone know how delicious this fragrance is. So this is a 2015 launch, Initio Parfums Absolute Aphrodisiac. Perfumer is Alexandra Kosinski. It's considered an amber spicy fragrance, and it's a 90 ml bottle for $305. So this particular fragrance, as I was saying earlier, I sampled all Initio Parfums fragrances for the first time in Lisbon at a perfume shop. That's the first time I saw all the fragrances there. So I don't know if I really studied this one when I sampled it, but because when you're out and about doing sampling and smelling, when you stumble onto a new brand, you probably touch a few fragrances and kind of move on. Maybe I kind of forgot about this, or maybe I just skipped it, but really I should never have done that, because it really is a yummy fragrance. And for me, even though it's vanilla, I think it's more of an amber vanilla. You get the ambery touches with this one. Loads of ambery touches and also loads of vanillic touches. But it features notes of white flowers, amber, vanilla, musk, and castoreum. Not a lot of notes are credited for this one, because in the end, for me, this one is mostly about the amber and about the vanilla. Those two working wonderfully together. With the amber, you do experience, it wears like an amber fragrance with those, vanillic touches, but it also has resinous and balsamic qualities as well. So you experience like light powdery touches with the amber, where it's kind of resinous there, and then also syrupiness with the balsamic touches. But the vanilla is absolutely delicious. The vanilla here kind of has light boozy touches and also a little bit of like cream. Like there's a little bit of a creaminess in there, all rolled into that, mixed into that vanilla, which is also later mixed in with that amber. So it's lightly powdery and then also syrupy at the same time. So the both together kind of creates a little bit of like a fusion of dry and syrupy at the same time with that booziness. But you know what? I feel like there's a little bit of spice in here because it wears very spicy. It's considered an amber spicy fragrance. So I'm thinking there are notes like, maybe something like coriander, a little bit of cardamom, a little bit of cinnamon in here to give it a bit of a zingy spiciness in there. Maybe a little bit of ginger as well, so it acts very, very spicy. Now with the white flowers in here, it's hardly there. And sometimes white flowers do go milky creamy for me, and I think that's why I'm getting a little bit of a milkiness with the vanilla here. So perhaps there is something like gardenia or tuberose or maybe even magnolia in here where it kind of gives us a lightly milky vibe. But I'm not getting much of a floral essence with this one because the amber and vanilla are pretty prominent. Now here we go to a part of this fragrance that might turn off a few people. There is a Castoreum note in here, and there's also musk. So there is a little bit of an animalic touch running throughout the fragrance. So this is something that might turn people off. And also Castoreum tends to go leathery. This does have that quality in there. But for me, when I'm wearing it, I don't experience the animalic and musky leathery touches as much as I experience the amber and vanilla. As I said, white flowers are lightly there, plus the muskiness in the Castoreum is also very lightly there, because for me it's mostly about that amber vanilla experience, and it's really, really delicious. The couple times I wore this when it was cool outside, and a couple times I wore it when it's warm outside here in San Francisco, and it actually smells even better when it's warm outside. The fragrance just really, really opens up, and it becomes syrupy, powdery, all rolled into one, and it's a kind of a heavenly smell. Vanilla is just absolutely amazing for me. Again, it's my #2 favorite note. If you haven't caught my top 25 or top 40 notes videos in 2 parts, definitely go catch those videos where I speak about vanilla as being my #2 favorite note, with patchouli being #1 favorite note, but vanilla, absolutely one of my favorite things to smell. I could smell it and eat it in desserts over and over and over again. I really love it. And here, I feel like this is a very, very high quality fragrance. A couple of things I want to say in addition. As I mentioned, a couple of things in my underhyped fragrances video where I featured this, I did say it smells a little bit like a few other fragrances. For me, this particular fragrance does remind me or hint at 3 fragrances: Vanille Insensé from Atelier Cologne, Lune Feline from Atelier des Ors, and then also Eau Duelle from the House of Diptyque. Now, it reminds me of those fragrances from a distance, but when I kind of put them together side by side, you'll definitely pick up differences. So in the end, the vanilla is similar, but they go in different directions in the end. So they're not identical fragrances. But wow, I love this one. I think it's going to be perfect for fall and autumn, and it's delicious. You should definitely check it out. One last thing I do want to say, this definitely has a little bit of a intense quality up front, but it does settle to more of a skin scent. It's not necessarily something that screams too loud. So it's moderate, and that's pretty much where I leave it at. It has great longevity, but it doesn't scream too loud. So if you don't like fragrances that are not loud, this might not be it for you. But then again, I always say fragrances wear differently on people. I might say it's not really loud with projection and sillage. You might say something different. So always test before you buy, because people experience fragrances differently. For me, it does have great longevity, but it wasn't a very loud fragrance. Either way though, that's what I think about this particular delicious fragrance, Absolute Aphrodisiac. I hope you guys get to try it. Unless you've already tried it and you enjoy it, please let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching today's review for Absolute Aphrodisiac from the house of Initio Parfums. Let me know what you think about this fragrance. Let me know if you have it. Let me know if you've tested it. Maybe you don't like it. Put a comment down so I can find out. Other than that, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.